So I was on the wrong page. I was on my main page instead of my cooking page. So I'm starting over. Today we are doing egg rolls or chaya. And I'm really excited about sharing this recipe with you. And I also wanted to share my apron, my pumpkin spice and everything nice. This is my November apron. So I'm going to share a few of the ingredients with you. I have pork and beef here. And we have some eggs and carrots and bean sprouts and green onion and shallot, fish sauce, soy sauce. And I wanted to share this bean thread noodle with you. It's like a clear noodle that I use in egg rolls that my mom's used, and so I still use it. It's not necessary to use it, but it's really good in there. So, all right guys, here we go. Okay. Is that good, bub? Okay. Okay, so I wanted to let you, I don't normally cook the meat when I use just hamburger when I make these egg rolls, but I'm going to today because it's pork, and I just want to make sure that everything is done. So we're going to start off by browning the meat. So usually how I was raised is we do it with hamburger, and you do everything raw inside the spring roll itself, and it cooks as it's frying. I'm also going to throw in my bean thread noodle too in this pan. So this is a combination of hamburger and pork that I'm using today. And I would say it's probably about a pound, pound and a half. I personally like a lot of vegetables in my stuff, and you don't have to use the meat or as much meat. Go ahead and brown this. And while that's browning, I'm going to go ahead and run my carrots through the food processor. I just used baby carrots. I probably used about maybe a cup, 2 cups, cup and a half of baby carrots. Then use as much as you would like. break up the noodles a little bit. And I'm not adding any seasonings to this. I'll add it when I mix it with the vegetables in a bowl. You don't need too much seasoning if you're having a dipping sauce with it. And pork has salts in it too, so. Hope you guys had a great week this week, and then we had rain last night, so I was super excited, and I hope we get some more. We got a pretty good rain overnight, and now we're just enjoying the weekend. Again, when I do beef, I don't cook the meat. I just do with pork. And one of the reasons why you don't really have to cook it when you're using beef is because when you fry it, it's going to cook inside the spring roll too. But if you want to be super, super safe, cook it before you do it. But I was raised not cooking it when it came to beef. My mom usually only used beef when she made egg rolls or chaya. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to drain this. I'll move this over here. And we will drain that. Into there. We'll get rid of some of that juice too. It's fat. And then I'm just going to wipe down my pan because this is the same pan I'm going to use for frying the egg rolls. So, got my carrots here that I did through the food processor. Right there. And you can shred them too. I just do whatever is easier. And that's me. And I'm pushing it down so I can give you a measurement. I know I'm not very good at giving you guys measurements because I just believe in doing it how you like, as far as vegetables and all that stuff. But if you want a measurement of what I'm doing, today is 2 cups of carrot. And I do prefer a lot of carrot in mine, so just so you know, that's probably a lot more than what my mom did, but that's how I like it. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour this into this measuring thing too, so I can give you guys a measurement on that. I'll try to always give you guys measurements, but I don't really measure a lot unless I'm baking. Okay, so this is says 3 cups in my food processor of the ground meat. So I'm gonna add that. Okay, so I put fish sauce, and it's probably going to be about a teaspoon of fish sauce and soy sauce. And I love these things whenever I'm feeling lazy. I don't know if you guys can see these. It's lemongrass, garlic, and ginger. And they also have like cilantro and basil. But if you don't feel like chopping that day, add a little bit of this. And I'm going to use all three. Sometimes I feel like ginger in it, sometimes I don't. I don't put as much of the ginger, but I do use the garlic and the lemongrass in my recipe, usually all the time. Okay, so I'm gonna move my mess over a little bit. And I'm trying to cool down the meat. I'm gonna mix it in with the carrot right now. Help cool it down. Okay, and you're gonna add an egg to that. Possibly two. We'll see how it looks when after we get everything in there and if it looks binded enough. And then I'm going to cut up a shallot. See everything okay? And I cut this up, slice it thinly. I'm going to take my bean thread noodle and drain that. And I'm going to add a couple green onions. Board down a little bit because I'm tearing up right now from the onion. Put this back on there. Mix in your onion. Okay. And I'm going to run some cold water over my bean thread noodle to cool that down. Try to squeeze as much of the excess water out as possible. So I squeeze as much out, and then I also lay it on a paper towel. Just run a knife roughly through it. And last but not least, the bean sprouts. And I crunch them up in there and break them up a little bit. Only because sometimes they're really long and they'll poke through the wrapper if you're not careful. So sometimes I'm in a hurry and this helps breaking it up a little bit. You can use any kind of dipping sauce you'd like, teriyaki, just plain soy sauce. You can make that peanut sauce I showed you guys last time for the salad rolls, summer rolls. That sauce is really good in this too, with this. Sweet and sour, all kinds. That's where you get most of your flavor from. So I'm going to go ahead and add another egg to mine. So I want it a little more binded, just a little bit more. Smells so good. Smell the garlic and the lemongrass and the ginger. Okay, that looks good. Alright, I'm going to add oil to my pan and start heating that up, and then we'll start rolling. Okay, the wrappers I'm using today are these. And you can get these if you live locally by me. They're at Food for Less. If you can't get to the Asian store, they have plenty of spring roll wrappers over there. It's a very small Asian store in Pismo, Debut Market, that I get most of my sauces and stuff from, that they do have. It's not a very big selection, but it's something. But like I said, these wrappers you can get at the Food for Less over by Walmart. Over here in my area. And you can go to a regular store and get wonton wrappers pretty much anywhere. If you wanted to use wonton, which is traditionally what my mom used, was wonton. But I personally like spring roll wrappers because they're lighter and crispier. It's just my preference. I'm going to take an egg right here and put it in here, and this is what I use to seal my egg roll. And you can use water too, or some people use milk. I use egg. Okay, so when you're pulling these apart, they're very thin, so I'm going to make you a couple different sizes just so you know that no matter what size you get, it'll work out, because I know some places don't sell these big sizes in wonton skin. They usually sell the smaller size. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these first two in the sizes at the regular stores sell. And this is probably the size you're used to seeing. So you're going to get a little bit of your filling if you're using these smaller ones. I haven't made them this small in a long time, just so you know. It works a lot better too with wonton skin when you make them this small, just because of the texture of the wrapper. So yeah, I'll do one more small one. And let that sit for a minute so it seals pretty good. Way the wrapper came out. Okay. So the other one, clear that a little bit. So this is the size I usually make them in. Get a pretty good amount on there. Bring it in tightly, as tight as possible. And roll. And you can also do them thinly, make it more like a lumpia to have more of the crispiness. It's just about done, so I'm gonna do one more and a thinner, a little bit thinner. We have a couple different sizes there for you guys to see. Different. You can do them long and thin, a little bit more stuffing, or just these little small ones. Alright, so we are going to go over here. You guys can see I'm making tamales on the other side. Hold on, my oil. And turn the oil up just a little bit. Make sure you see your bubbles. And you can also, another thing is rip like a little piece of the wonton and throw it in there. Okay. So what I like to do is I get a piece of garlic before I start frying. You can do one or two. This is optional. You don't have to do this. Just to add a little flavoring, and I just smash my garlic. I don't cut it up or anything, and I add it to that. Make my oil. And we're going to start adding our egg rolls. And just let those fry. Usually when they're frying, I'm rolling some more. Smells so good, guys. You can use tongs or whatever. I'm just using chopsticks to show off a little bit. And I also love these chopsticks. They're so long. My cooking chopsticks for egg rolls. So I did turn up the heat a little bit. You do have to adjust the heat sometimes on this. I didn't want it too hot for when I did my garlic. But as they're cooking, I turned it up a little bit more. And you're just going to fry them until they're like a golden brown. My mom used to make egg rolls for our neighbors all the time when we were little. Every time she made egg rolls, she would give us some to give to the neighbors, and she would take some to work. And a lot of you that are my friends growing up have had my mom's egg rolls. And I still, to this day, they always ask about my mom's egg rolls. Or they remember their childhood with my mom's egg rolls. We're almost just about done. Cool down in here. Turn off the oil. I'll cut one open for you guys so you can see. Very, very hot. Hot, hot, hot. And your egg rolls, guys. Let's see. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Please like, share, or invite people to our page. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me. Bye, guys.